The newspapers here were full of the embarrassment of the booing of South Africa's President Zuma at yesterday's memorial event in Johannesburg. State television has been accused of deliberately underplaying it. But to add to all this, another revelation. It turns out that the sign language interpreter for deaf people was apparently not signing a single word of what anyone said, from the US President, Mr. Obama, and Mr. Zuma himself, to Mandela's own grandchildren. Indeed, it gets worse. As I've been finding out, he couldn't even form the sign for the word Mandela. Leaders of 5 of the world's most powerful nations and friends spoke movingly of Mandela, but to deaf people across South Africa, their words all seem to be seriously lost in translation.
I welcome all of you who have travelled from all corners of the world.
To check what the interpreter was in fact signing, we asked a deaf school headmistress what deaf people would have understood of yesterday's event. We started with the words of memorial host Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's see what you think the interpreter is saying.
They have been honouring and remembering the memory of Nelson Mandela since he passed away. We applaud you and thank you for that.
I have no idea.
Nothing at all?
Absolutely nothing.
Not one word?
Nope.
So it's just complete rubbish?
Yes. It's like, in a spoken language, you would say gibberish.
Gibberish.
It's exactly the same as gibberish.
Okay.
Talking nonsense.
You never
He
recognised...
keeps doing this funny sign, these signs, and there's no linguistic sense there at all.
But this apparently unregistered and so far unnamed sign interpreter has been used by the ANC before, at least twice, here interpreting for President Zuma, singing at the ANC's 100th birthday last January.
And the deaf community has complained about him previously and said that he's terrible. But the problem is that the government has ignored those complaints. So the worst thing is that this whole issue could have been avoided if they'd listened previously, because the deaf South Africans have complained. It could have been a little local problem that we could have solved, but now it's become a big global issue.
You are lodged in our memories. You tower over the world like a comet.
Yesterday, translating for Mandela's granddaughter, the interpreter almost seemed to be looking for the exit. Tonight, the deaf community has taken to cyberspace with real versus absurd. The ANC has yet to comment. And an unpleasant postscript to events here in South Africa. Archbishop Tutu's Cape Town home was broken into whilst he was away attending yesterday's memorial for Nelson Mandela.